How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to show you the easiest way to destroy things with a really cool add-on in Blender. Now, today's video is in partnership with Concept D, which is the laptop you're seeing right here. Also, not only am I going to show you how to use this add-on to break things, but I'm also going to take this and use a couple tricks we've learned here on the channel to show how this add-on works with my motion graphics style and some other things to have some fun with. The laptop you're seeing right here is the Concept D7 Pro. It is a super powerful laptop. We have a Quadro RTX 5000 and an Intel Core i7 CPU. It has tons of power, which is why we're doing some simulations just to really show you how powerful this thing is. Now, if you've never heard of Concept D, they are a line of incredible computers made for any type of creative, that be graphic designers, illustrators, and like myself, 3D artists. This computer specifically is incredible for 3D design, so we are going to be diving into the tutorial with this Concept D7 Pro. Alright, so let's show you how to use this add-on. Now, this add-on is called RBD Lab. I'll get into what it does exactly, but the developer of this add-on did not ask me to actually talk about this add-on. I am simply wanting to talk about it. There's no affiliate link for this. I just want to talk about how great this tool that the developer made and how great it is. It's a really good example of when you take a really good user interface, it makes everything simple because we're doing a lot of particle stuff, we're doing a lot of rigid body, and we're doing some simulation, and all of this makes it 100% easier, which makes it really worth what it is. You can grab this on Blender Market, linked in the description. Now, a lot of people do not like paid add-ons. This one's pretty cheap, but the thing about paid add-ons is they are supplying you something that is benefiting you, and it also supports these guys who are making incredible work. So that's why I want to talk about this, and it's really cool. It also really shows off the power that this laptop really gives off. So now that I got that out of the way, let me show you how incredible this is. Now, because I'm working with Concept D, the theme of this video is going to be a word that begins with D, which is destruction, and just to keep that going, we're going to use a duck because that also works with D, and this is the Ducky 3D channel. So we're going to import a object model here, and I found a nice duck model. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in and shade flat. So here's one of the really cool things this add-on does. It's called the annotation. So if you take this annotation and slide it along, one of the best things this add-on does is really easy, really cool fracture. So if we click on scatter here, let's give it some scattering here, tell it to use the annotation and fracture. Now, like I said, this add-on does things that are native to Blender. This would be the cell fracture add-on that we just did here, but you don't get to do this with the cell fracture add-on. How cool is that? And one thing is the explode visualization, which we'll use later to make a really cool motion graphic. If you click on the explode visualization and you click on a mount, look at that. It visualizes what this would look like if it explodes, and it's really quick and it's really easy to use. Now, this add-on also does very simple fracturing. So if we just go up here and click scatter and say how dense we want this fracture to be, maybe about 111, and then we'll go ahead and start the fracture. We're gonna bring my recursion down to 2. Recursion is basically the little particles in contrast to the big particles that fracturing does. So you notice how quickly this is. This is real time, does a very quick fracturing. This computer can really handle some good fracturing. So here we go. This is it. Let's go ahead and show you kind of how this add-on works. Now, one really cool feature of this add-on, which we will utilize in a little bit, is if we notice, say let's just pull one of these pieces out. Notice it is a different color. So we have inner colors and outer colors. So if we take this material, bring it up, make it every color, this entire interior of the duck is actually super controllable with this add-on. It makes it really easy. So let's go ahead and show the rest of what this is. Now, everything I'm going to show you here is just a part of what this add-on can do. So much is really useful. I'll check out more about the YouTube channel and kind of how this whole thing works. Now, what we can do is click add ground. What this does is adds a rigid body ground to our scene. And then right up here we have rigid bodies. Rigid bodies can be really annoying to learn and really annoying to kind of figure out. This add-on makes it very easy. And you can even do these presets: paper, silver, steel. We're gonna keep it at concrete, and we're gonna click add rigid body. And if we press play here, very easy and very quick. Now, if you had more pieces, it would start to lag and do some stuff like that. And that's when you would need to bake your keyframes. So this is running pretty well. This computer can kind of handle that. So we're going to bake it anyway because we're going to get into some particles. So let's go here and first, actually forgot, we need to add some constraints. Let me show you how the constraints work. So what I did was I added a glue constraint. I put my iterations at 50 and my glue strength at 100. And what that did was when this comes down to crash, the head kind of stays together. So what we can do is just kind of bring that up to maybe 150. And how great this is, just update it. Already updates those settings, and let's press play. So there we go. We have some things in this duck sticking together. So those are those glue constraints. It makes it very easy to constrain things, so it'll make sense when particles kind of fly around. Let's do 200 and then move on. So we see that. Now we're done. Now, like I mentioned, there is some lagging, and that's because it's really starting to do some heavy lifting here, and you can kind of hear that fan going. So what we're going to want to do is bake all of this information. And like I said, this is a very good user interface. The baking is right under the constraints. So we're going to just bake all of our 250 frames and just click bake and check out how quickly that bake is calculating. It's really fast. So here we go. If we just press play here, 0 lag. And what that's going to do is allow us to take all this data and all the stuff we're figuring out and start to put in some particles. So let's get into these extra particle stuff. So what we need to do is go through these keyframes and figure out the point of breaking. Right about there. So frame 14. So if you click emit from current frame, which is our debris, click that. It's going to calculate. And if we press play, it goes out. Now you would want to kind of hone in where you want that debris to come out. It looks a little unorganic, but that's okay. And then let's go down here to dust, emit from current frame. And now we have our dust and our particles. Now it does have kind of a late response, so if we can kind of hit Control Z on all of this, and maybe we do it at frame 13 here, emit from current frame, go down to our dust, emit from current frame. There's some tweaking you can do to this, but it's really cool. And look at that. How easy are we able to get a really, really cool animation? Like I said, it takes a lot of tweaking, a lot of working, and this would make a longer video, but you get the idea how cool this is. And you also can use the same idea and do smoke. It actually hones in your smoke simulations. All you need to do is add a domain. If you've ever dealt with smoke simulations, this makes it really easy. There's a couple YouTube videos on the RBD Lab YouTube channel. You can check that out all from the Blender Market link and check out how cool this add-on is. And there you go. That is how quickly you can make a simulation, an idea, a really cool, quick animation here with the scene. We're just going to go ahead and press play one more time. Check out this breaking here. It's really nice. Head kind of falls, baked all our frames. All right, so like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm going to show you also how I personally would use this add-on to help with my style, and using this add-on to kind of bring up the speed of my workflow. And it's a really cool explosion effect that I want to use to kind of bring out all those pieces, and then we're going to make something really cool with it. Now, for those of you who have followed my channel a lot, I'm going to be using some stuff that I've taught quite often here. So if you've seen a lot of these things and you don't want to re-see them, you don't need to see, feel free to click away from this tutorial. I've gotten 9.5 thousand new subscribers here to the channel this month, and I want to make some content and show some really cool stuff for them as well. Thank you guys for subscribing. And of course, if you've seen the channel for a while, you may see some things that are new to you. So let's go ahead and get an icosphere. And I'm going to go ahead and subdivide it so it's nice and subdivided kind of like that. I'm going to bring over the lab add-on. I'm going to go here to scatter, bring up my density here, go down and fracture it. And I just love how quickly this add-on helps me fracture stuff. I don't need to enable add-ons, all that crazy stuff. And then what I can do here with the explode visualization, start the explode and bring it out. There we go. Now we have the beginning of a really cool scene, and that's what I like about this add-on. It made that explosion visualization very easy, so I can start with something really cool. Let's go straight into making this environment. So one thing I'm going to do is click on an object here, go to the shading, and I'm going to make this here metallic. And then I'm going to take this material, the inner material, also make it metallic and bring that color up, because we're going to do some node magic here with this add-on. Let's go ahead and head straight into just the Eevee preview. We are going to be using Eevee, so click on the little camera icon, use Eevee, and turn on these pieces right here: ambient occlusion, bloom, screen space, and motion blur. I'll hit Shift A. I'm going to get a light, put the point light in there, and give it a strength of 1000. Okay, now that we're going to do that, let's head on over to our world, bring the world darkness to black, head over to shading because we want to make that world into a really foggy space here. So we'll go from object to world. I'm going to hit the period key to bring up that, and then let's go ahead and get in a volume node. So principled volume, plug that straight into the volume, and then bring that density down so we have something very easy, very quick. There you go. If you've ever wanted to know how to do light streaks, density, and a lot of objects, basically. So let's collapse this, bring my point light, and give it whatever color you want to do for this. So here we go. Now we have a nice scene. Let's do some camera rigging. This camera rigging particularly I did in a recent tutorial. So if you may have seen that before, it's going to be making a camera rig and kind of flashing around the scene. So what I'm going to do here is get 3 pieces of this rig. Of course, we need our camera, we need an empty, and we need a circle. So if we go here, you can see our pieces here. Let's click on our camera and add 2 constraints. First constraint is a follow path, that path being that circle that we got. We can even bring that out now. You can see our camera is attached to the circle. Now we need the camera to point at something because we don't want to just control it with a rotation. It's kind of crazy. Let's add another constraint called track 2. What that's going to do is get that empty that we put in there, and wherever this empty goes, that's where our camera is going to point, and we want it to point straight into the center. So I'm going to hit 0 to go to my camera view. Let's click on the camera, click on the little green camera there, and bring that focal length out. We're actually going to animate that in a little bit. So let's go here to the render view just so we can see how cool this is. Click on the camera, go to the constraints, and on this first follow path constraint, we're going to use this offset to animate it in a circle. I do, however, want to go to my preferences here in the edit preferences. Here on animation, make sure your default interpolation is set to linear. Now let's go ahead and go, first we need to bring up this this timeline. Go back to frame 0 by hitting the back arrow. Keyframe, go to the very end and type in 100. That's going to give you a perfect rotation, which is going to make this an animated loop, which is what we really want to do here. So we're going to do that. Then we also want to get this Bezier circle and animate that on a rotation, which will be the rotation of X. So click the X rotation here, go to the end, type in 360, 360, enter, click that keyframe, and now we're getting a pretty cool animation. Now to make it even cooler, we're going to animate that camera. All right, so we're also going to animate this focal length. So let's go back to the preferences in the animation tab and go from linear to Bezier on the keyframe interpolation. That's going to make our movements from one to the next very smooth. So let's click on this camera for the focal length here. Go to about frame here and go out. Click on that. Here we're going to zoom pretty far in like that. Then we're going to go to something like this. Keyframe. Go to something like this. This is all just completely improvised here. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy the very first keyframe here for this focal length so it loops. Paste it here. And we're going to go ahead and see how that looks. So if I press play, focal length goes out, focal length goes in, goes back out, goes back in. And there we go. The last thing we're going to do is that glitching inner material. So I'm going to click on one of the objects, go here, and we're going to click on inner material, head straight to shading, and go from world to object. So let's go ahead and remove this. What I want to do is a UV trick I've done pretty often here on the channel. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit A to select everything, hit tab to go to edit mode. I'm going to hit U and click unwrap. Now we're going to head to UV editing, and then we're going to take all of this craziness here, go here, and go to individual origins, hit S, and hit 0. what that did was put all of our UV islands together. And I'm just going to separate a couple of these islands so it doesn't get too crazy. So there we go. Now we have a bunch of small UV islands that are going to allow us to glitch some stuff. Now, if this is all very quick for you and you're new to the channel, go ahead and watch a bunch of videos after this one and learn a lot about what I like to do. This will make a lot of sense to you. Right now, I'm just really showing how I can use this add-on, some of the features of it, to really help with the motion graphics style. Let's head back to shading, and then we're going to sort of activate what we just did there. So we have our scene here. I'm going to go ahead and use this emission strength section here. So I'm going to go ahead and get a color ramp, Shift A, search, and type in color ramp. Plug the color ramp into the emission here. We're going to get a noise texture, Shift A, search, noise texture. We're going to from oops, that is the white noise. We need to just the regular noise, NOI, noise texture. We're going to go for factor here. We're going to get a mapping node here. Plug that into the vector and a texture coordinate. So get our texture coordinate and use the UV socket. The reason why we're using UV is because we shrunk all of those UV islands, and now we're going to plug them into the UV of the vector here in the mapping. So what that's going to let us do now, kind of play with that here. So if we go here to 4D, that's going to allow us to activate this randomness seed on the noise texture. So we can kind of make it glitch around. We're going to go from linear to constant so that we can get a more hard edge and get a better glitching material here. So if we kind of bring this in, we can bring up the emission strength here and give it whatever color you want. Green works. Now, we have the W, and then as our camera, if we press play here and play with the W, you can animate the W to kind of glitch around and animate any way you like, which is really cool and really exciting for this. That is how you do that right there. And of course you right click, insert keyframe, and animate however much glitching you want to do. So that is how you do that. If you want to know how to export your animation, I'll show you the way I like to do it. You can either do a PNG sequence and compile that yourself. Go ahead and select where you want to save it, or if you don't want to do a PNG sequence and just have a ready-made video, FFmpeg video encoding to MP4, and then quality to perceptually lossless render animation. And there you go. That is how you create this really cool, really interesting animation. Thank you to the developer of this add-on, really great add-on. And big thank you to Concept D for partnering with me, helping support this channel, helping me do what I love to do, and making a really cool laptop. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next tutorial.